Hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ coming at you Thursday evening. We're going to be talking all things Martinsville and what is coming up this weekend. We're going to discuss schedule. We're going to talk about what I'm looking for this weekend, and then we're going to talk about what I'm cooking. So let's dive right into it with the schedule. All three series are going to be at Martinsville this weekend. Trucks kick things off Friday with practice and qualifying at 2 o'clock on FS2. Their race is going to be Friday night at 7:30 on FS1. Of note for the truck race, William Byron will be in it. He is the only Cup driver to be pulling any extra action this weekend. He'll be driving for Spire in the 07 Friday night in the truck race. Moving on, let's talk about Saturday. Xfinity starts things off with practice and qualifying at 12:45 on the CW app. Their race is going to be at 5 p.m. on the CW. MRN is going to be hosting the radio broadcasts of that if you're following along with my CW hack. I do want to make a quick note about the CW hack. As we're learning how to utilize it, I am learning that you have got to know what the drivers are and who's racing what as you're watching what's going on track, because it's not always the same as what's going on the radio. I've been realizing that the hard way 6 weeks in a row now, that I've been thinking the 00 car is still Cole Custer, but it's actually Sheldon Creed. I finally got that in my head. And I've been seeing that all season long on the CW battle cam and just cannot figure out for the life of me who is in the 00. I know it wasn't Cole Custer, but I couldn't figure it out until this weekend. So that's my little note. You just kind of have to know who the drivers are for the battle cam, CW hack, MRN, PRN, whatever hack for that to work for you. The radio does a great job of painting a picture. You don't always need to be watching the race to know exactly what's happening. If you're old school like a lot of us, the radio has always been the best coverage of the racing anyways. So let's move on. Let's talk about Cup this weekend. Cup is getting their practice and qualifying on at 2 p.m. on Saturday on Prime. And then their race is going to be at 3 on FS1. Pre-race begins at 1:30 on FS1. Let's talk about what I'm looking for this weekend. First and foremost, it's a 400-lap race. So it's going to be quick. It's going to be over with very quick. First stage will be 100 laps. Same with the second stage. Final stage will be the final 200 laps. William Byron was last year's winner. This year, I looked at the weather for this year. It's only supposed to be 70 degrees and mostly cloudy, if not entirely overcast throughout the day. They're calling for a couple of showers in the morning as a front pushes through overnight, and then it's not supposed to get above 70 degrees. So it'll be kind of chilly, which means with softer compound tires and colder temperatures, as we learned in Bristol last year, those tires fall apart. So we might actually see some comers and goers here this weekend at a short track, and it might actually be an interesting short track. That's certainly the hope. We definitely don't want to see a normal next-gen Martinsville race where it's just ring around the rosy, follow the leaders. So hopefully colder temperatures and softer tire treads mean for more comers and goers and a lot more interesting race than what the next-gen has produced here in Martinsville in the past couple of years. So first and foremost, that's what I'm looking at, is what the weather's doing with such a quick race. Next, I'm also wondering, is Blaney going to be able to finish a race? He's done 3 DNFs in a row, and he's really strong at Martinsville. Can his luck overcome some technical difficulties and get him through this entire 400-lap race? I'm also going to be looking at something that has been kind of in the murmur mill for the past couple weeks. Can Chase Elliott rise up here this weekend? He's known to be really good at Martinsville. He's proven that in the past. He's been kind of murmured about to be the 4th Hendrick team this year. That's not really good. More is expected of him, especially since he's the fan favorite year in and year out. I'm going to be watching to see what Chase Elliott is doing. The other storyline that I'm going to be watching, something I touched on earlier this year, is can Bell break the string of luck that has kind of turned on him. He's not had good finishes in the last 2 weeks after getting 3 wins in a row. Remember what I said earlier this year. I harken back to last season. William Byron had a strong start, got off to a hot start. He had, 5 wins in the first 10 races, I think it was, and then just kind of ho-hum struggled through the rest of the season. Has Bell peaked too early this year? We'll see. He's been touted as the best Gibbs car that's out there, and he was up until 2 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, a couple of unfortunate errors and a couple of misfortunes on track, and he's not had strong finishes. And now all of a sudden, Chase Briscoe is climbing up the JGR ladder and looking like the top car after a strong finish last week. The final thing that I will be curious to see, and this we'll all find out at the end of the race, is are we going to have another top 10 shuffle? All season long, the top 10 has been filled with the non-normal names. At least half of the top 10 has had a new name in it that you don't normally see. The Justin Haley's, the Josh Berry, obviously, with his win, but also a string of top 10s. The Carson Hosevars, performing well. We've seen a lot of names that have been lower in the field throughout the past couple years, starting to rise to the top. Another one that I'm thinking of, Ryan Preece, starting to climb up there. We'll see at the end of the race how the top 10 plays out. Will it be another shakeout, or will we see the cream rise to the top at Martinsville? That's a very rhythm-oriented track, and it's normally the best drivers that end up in the top 10. That's what I'm looking for this weekend. That's what the schedule looks like this weekend. A lot of action going on. NASCAR is taking the reins this weekend. There's no Formula One, there's no Indy, there's no IMSA to speak of. So as far as pro racing goes in the States, that's what we've got, and I am pleased as punch that it's at Martinsville. Let's talk about what I have on the brain for food. Like I mentioned Monday night in my post-Homestead video, Martinsville's known for hot dogs, and I've got hot dogs on the brain. But I can't just do a normal hot dog because, yes, the chef in me always takes over. And I got to thinking about a hot dog that I created years ago while messing around at the Four Seasons in the grill up at the pool one summer. I came up with what I called the Creole dog. So basically I made a remoulade dressing to go over some slaw, and put the slaw on top of the dog, and then made fried pickles and put that on top. And we had these beautifully buttery brioche buns that we put the hot dogs on. And that was one heck of a combination. And I think that's the direction I'm going to go for this weekend. It just sounds really good to me. Break my diet for a day. Go ahead and make myself a little bit of fried food and have myself some mystery meat hot dog. Try to find myself something a little bit better. I know Aldi has some really good, healthy hot dogs that aren't full of all of the crap. So that's what I've got coming up. And that's really all I've got for you guys this evening, Thursday night. The preview is in the books. I will see you again Sunday morning. We'll talk about what my slaw is looking like. I'll probably put that together for you on camera so you guys can see it. It's really super simple. And then we'll talk about what my pick is for the week. I have got first pick against Mom in our competition. I'm only 8 points away and just chomping at the bit to take the lead. So we'll see how practice and qualifying play out and what that's going to do for making my pick this weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the racing Friday and Saturday. And then I'll catch up with you on Sunday morning. Until then, have a great night. Thanks.